What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? All right. That's exactly what I was about to say. She took the words out of my mouth. Evie, baby boy. This is a fun church. You don't have to be quiet. I don't know if y'all heard the kids screaming during the prayer. Like, who's up there with them? Oh, nobody. Just up there wilding out. Anyway, here are today's announcements. Number one, as always, the books are free, and they are over there. Take one, read it. See what Jesus says to you through it. See what trash is in it. Throw the trash away, keep the good stuff, and improve your life. Boom. It's like supplements. I did it last time. I'm not going to go through it again. All right. If you have an idea for Oasis, please share it with our board. If you have an idea about how we can do things better, how we can make things smoother, stuff you want to do, talk to, auto change. Caught me up. I'm going to just keep changing it back. If you do, talk to Fathom or Eric or Doc or Eileen or Jenny or myself. And no, you're fine. It is what it is at this point, you know? We already saw it change. I'm going to just change it back. So if you do have an idea, talk to one of us. Fathom, Eric, Doc, Eileen, Jenny, myself. And as I always say, we are going to aid you in making that happen. So that is what we are here for. We are here to engage, equip, and empower. And so the empower part is, yes, it is your idea, but we want to help you make that happen. So thank you to all of those who do give. If you are not giving and you would like to, these are the options that we have on the table. Venmo, Church Center app, which allows you to set up how and when you want to give, so it is reoccurring if you want. And then there is a brown box in the front, so you can give cash or checks if you have those on you in person. Outside of that, thank you to everyone who does give, because it's warm in here and I'm sweating. So looks like we're paying the bills. That's what's up. Pretty tight. As Jenny said earlier, if you are not receiving text messages from Oasis, please text TEA to 575-222-8985 so you can get all the tea that we spill. That was like an official announcement, but I just used all slang. There's a whole TED talk about that, how like you can talk about nothing the whole time and just get people's emotions up and down, and like the best speakers do that. It's a whole really cool video, but anyway, I just did that. So if you want the tea as we spill it, text T to 575-222-8985, and we'll get you plugged in. Lastly, prayer team. If you want to join, talk to Cheryl. There are multiple layers to this prayer team. You don't have to be at all the meetings if you just want to pray. That's fine. But talk to her, get in where you fit in, and pray for the people of Oasis. Any questions on any of those things before we jump into today's sermon? All right. Today, just a little backstory overall on just what's happening right now. Years ago, I think it was my mom who said it, but she was like, don't study the Bible to teach. Like, study so that it is part of you, you live it, and when you need to teach, there's always something there to teach from because you have been studying and eating and just keeping it. Jackie Hill Perry said, the scripture I study today may not be for today, but I keep it in my back pocket for when I do need it. And what I am seeing, this is the second sermon that we have done that is outside of a series. And as I keep going over like what to preach next or what it's going to look like, there's a lot of stuff that I'm very thankful for that I have studied over the last 13 years. It was summer 2011 where I really began to take Jesus seriously and realized everything that this relationship offered me that I was not receiving. And I was like, come hell or high water, I'm going to go get every single thing that Jesus said he came to give us, straight up. So then I started studying just the words in red. And it's so much that Jesus said he came to give us. And so all of that to say, this sermon, the next sermon from here, these are all things that have been studied on and like eaten up years ago and now are coming out. So I'm pretty excited. I'm just gonna preach. That's what I'm gonna do. So today's sermon, God wants you. Oh man, my little video is covering up the YouTube. Don't change it, it's fine. But I forgot that word was on the right side. So when they're watching on YouTube, my screen is up where the God is. So they can't see that part, but neither here nor there. Again, nobody cares but me. Anyway, God wants you. 10 Commandments, the top 4. In the 10 Commandments, God is establishing what it takes to be in covenant relationship with him. He is explaining to the Israelites what it looks like, and he gives them the 10 Commandments. Over time, though, for them and us, I think that we have missed the intent of the 10 Commandments. And by missing the intent, there's a lot that we miss in our relationship with the Father. And so today we are going to look at all of that and how we can walk in this in our lives every day. So how do we get to this moment? The Israelites were slaves in Egypt. That was not always the case, but we are not going back that far. But the Israelites are slaves in Egypt, and they're like, yo, we don't want to do this anymore. And God says, hey, Moses, I'm going to choose you to go free my people. Moses is like, not me, because he had a stutter, right? Get it? I mean, come on, guys, relax. Thank you. Like, that was funny, because he has a stutter. So anyway. Even more so, he would stutter talking to God, you know? He's like, anyway. So Moses is like, nah, not me, bro. Can't do it. One time, I was raised in this house. No, thank you. Number 2, I just killed a guy who was an Egyptian. Can't do it. Like, they're going to come and get me. It's a whole thing. He's like, I can't do it. God says, yes, you're going to do it. Long story short, 10 plagues, they come and go. The last one being God kills every firstborn of every person's house that does not have blood covering their doorframe. So, obviously, the Egyptians, they didn't do it. Their firstborns die. Firstborn son dies. And then Pharaoh's like, get out of here. I hate you. Get out of here, you know. So then the Israelites leave. They get to the Red Sea. Well, before that, there's a very cool verse where it says God could have taken them from Egypt the shorter way to the promised land, but the people were not ready for war, and they would not have believed God could save them if they had gone into war. So God takes them the long way to the Red Sea. I absolutely love that fact. Like, if you feel like this is the harder path, maybe it is God and it's not the devil tripping you up. There's that. So they go to the Red Sea splits, they get through it, the Egyptians chase them, they get into the Red Sea closes up, all of them die, and then the Israelites are just in the wilderness, chilling. God says, hey, consecrate yourselves, I'm coming down to meet my people. I want to see y'all. They're like, yeah, we want to see you too. So they do. They consecrate themselves, they get ready. God, they are at Mount Sinai. God begins to come down the mountain. Thunder, lightning, the earth is shaking. And the people are like, nah, it's cool. We don't want this. We do not want any of the smoke. We can visibly see it. We don't want any of it. No, thank you. God's like, cool. They're like, Moses, please just go talk to him for us. It'll be fine. We'll listen. Whatever he says, we'll do. That was a lie. Spoiler alert. That was a lie. So while Moses is on the top of the mountain, God gives him the 10 commandments and further what this looks like for their whole lifestyle. If you are going to be my people, I'm going to be your God. This is what relationship with me looks like. So that is where we are. We are in the middle of Mount Sinai, or at Mount Sinai in the wilderness. The people are freaking out. Somebody's about to get the grand idea to make a golden calf. That's coming. But in the meantime, God is giving Moses the 10 commandments. Today, we are just going to look at the top 4, and we'll see why, but let's do that. So, Exodus 20, verses 1 through 12, verses 1 through 11, read. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the 3rd and the 4th generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. Verse 7 says, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. And verse 8 says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter, your male servant or your female servant, or your livestock, or the sojourner who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. So, going back to verse 1, if you have your Keyword Study Bible with you, you will see that there is a key next to verse 1. And the key breaks down the 10 commandments. And it says, with these 10 commandments, God's covenant with the Israelites began. Ancient rabbis isolated 613 separate commandments in the entire law of Moses, but these 10 are the principles upon which the rest are based. By themselves, they are called the words of the covenant. The first 4 commandments concern man's relationship with, and especially his reverence toward God, while the latter 6 address man's relationship with other human beings. The first 4 have total love for God as their theme. The last 6 are summarized by the statement, love your neighbor as yourself. Jesus took all the commandments in the law of Moses and summarized them with 2, love God and love your neighbor, your fellow man. So this is where we stand. Jesus took, again, the 613 laws are based on the 10 principles, and then they tried to trick Jesus, and they were like, well, which one is the greatest? And he's like, all of everything comes down to this. Love God, love others. If you can love God well and be loved by him, you will naturally love yourself and be able to love others as you love yourself. It is that simple. So today, we are going to focus on the love God part. Yeah, let's do it. Before we jump in, God is holy. Please know and understand that. This is the baseline of our understanding for the 10 commandments. And the word holy means simply to be separate from, to be set apart, to be pure, to be clean. This is holiness. God is so far apart from us that we can't even imagine how pure he is. He literally is that pure. He is so much love. He is all love that every single act that comes from him comes from the right motive every single time. Where we have to make sure 3 and 4 times that our motive is correct, God never has to do that because there is never a thought of sin or anti-love in him. That makes sense? So therefore, he is separate from us. He is the standard of holiness. And he wants to spend time with us. Yes, there's a massive separation between us, but all God actually wants is to hang out with you. How cool is that? I don't think nobody's really nodding. Y'all looking at me like that's crazy. I don't know if that was the point of him creating human beings, because he was like, hey, I just want something to choose me. So let me create these things that have a choice, and they choose me, and we have a really good time. That's all he wants. He has literally everything that he could ever want, and he just wants us. That in itself is a whole situation. That's why we sing a song like Gratitude. Okay, commandment number 1, verses 2 and 3 says, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall have no other gods before me. Again, if you have your Bible, next to the word before, there's a number 2. And if you go down to the end of that column, there's a number 2, and it says, or besides. So God is painting a very clear picture here. 1, that nothing else compares to him in the relationship you are seeking. So it is not a rule of have nothing else before me. It is actually, if you inverse it, it is nothing else comes close to being me. So you might as well choose me because nothing else comes close to what you're looking for anyway. That's tight. Now, do I wish that God had just said that? Yes, I do. But here's the thing. We would still find a way to jack that up anyway. So, thank you, Jesus, for the Holy Spirit.
I heard it explained that it's not an ordinal before.
Correct.
Like having another God in front of or before him that is like first, second, third, but rather before him, in his presence, around, beside, at all.
Yeah, it's an at all.
And at all, not before me.
Yes. So when we sing a song like Honey in the Rock and we say, only you can satisfy, that specific line is based on this commandment. To have nothing else at all is because I know and understand nothing else comes close. Nothing else compares to the relationship that I have with the Father. Nothing compares to him. Nothing. He's literally like, yo, I'm it. I'm him. Hit me neutron, baby. That's me. You like that, Liam? I've been waiting all week to say that, so thank you. That was the response I wanted. But God says, I'm it. There is literally nothing else that compares. And we'll talk about the things that we do bring beside or before, but he starts the whole conversation with, hey, just so we're clear, nothing else is going to be better than me. And I need you to know and understand that. And that is why the commandment, if you look at it as a rule, is to choose him. That makes sense? If you only look at it as a rule, the intent behind it is because nothing else is going to satisfy you, so don't waste your time. Let's just cut to the chase. I'm all of it. Sounds very generous to me. Right? Am I crazy or not? Like, that's a generous offer to say, hey, choose me and nothing else, because nothing else is going to come close to what you're looking for. I got all of it. Whole satisfaction. I have all of it. And so, choose me. That's very generous of him. And this one leads right to commandment number 2. You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. This is where we mess up, because we stop there and we say that's the commandment. Don't create the thing. Don't make the idol, right? But the commandment is actually in verse 5. You shall not bow down to them or serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, yada, 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 so on and so forth. So we stop at the point of don't make anything, don't make the idol, don't make the thing. But the bigger piece of it is don't worship or serve it. Right? Because the moment you print a picture and hang it on your wall, guess what? You have made an image of something on the earth, right? So where we mistake, again, we get in these weird, super spiritual, we get so deep that we don't, it's gross. So we're like, hey, don't make any idols, I can't, and we miss the intent of not serving it or not worshiping it. So what we end up doing is, let me catch up my notes. What we end up doing is finding things that we may not have shaped or formed ourselves, and we worship those things, but because they're not a physical thing to worship, like a golden calf, which is weird that we have such a singular box of idols, we go, well, I'm fine. But everything that has been created has only been created by the Creator. So anything that you make, you didn't even make it because it was already there. God is the only one that can take anything and make and produce something. So we tend to look at people and we put our hope in them. We tend to look at situations and we put our hope in that. We take our goal list and we go, oh, when I get this done, I will be satisfied. I'm going to be complete when I do this. I'm going to be complete when this happens. I'm going to be complete when X marks the spot. And literally, we are now serving and worshiping things that we have created or things that other people have created and not worshiping the one who has created everything. So where already he says, I am everything, choose me. If I'm already choosing him, then there's no reason for me to go and try to worship or serve any other part. And again, we put these big cars, houses, money, yada, yada, yada. The easy things that are easy for everybody to understand. But the real thing is we just like to worship our trauma. Like, this is who I am, so I can't. We choose our marriages, we choose our friends, we choose our children. Well, whatever they want, I'm just going to do. Full service. Full service to I cannot become. Full service to I cannot be. Full service to I can't do the rest of the list because whatever reason. I give full worship, to bow down. Literally, it means to bow down. Worship is to bow down, to lay flat on my face. In the New Testament, we call it humbling myself before the throne. But instead, we humble ourselves in front of the uncomfortable conversation that we don't want to have. And so we bow to the uncomfortable feeling and we back away. We bow to, it's easier to go off on somebody versus just sit down and love them, and we back away. We bow down to, well, I don't want to work through this, so I am just going to leave it be and stonewall and walk away. I'm just going to bow down to the fact that this is not what God intended for my life, and I'm going to walk away. So we have idols. We have a lot of things that we look to comfort us and protect us and satisfy us. And they're all trash when you think about it. I don't care how great the person is that you sleep in the bed with. I don't care how great they are. They are not the Father. I don't care who the person is. They're just not. They're going to fart and it's going to smell bad. They're going to have broccoli in their teeth sometimes. It's going to happen. They're going to wake up and turn over and like Trey, hey, Dad, good morning. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's freshen that up a little bit. I know it's trivial to think, but like God never has bad breath. That's wild, right? Since we're talking about him being separate and apart, holiness is also fresh breath in this sense then. I mean, he don't even go to sleep, so I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. But he's that separate from us. There is no ill anything in him. And we look away from choosing and we make something else and we choose that and we serve that. And then we wonder what the problem is. Why is this relationship not working like it's supposed to? Jackie Hill Perry puts it very clearly about the golden calf specifically. She said the crazy thing about the golden calf, they're looking for it to give them salvation. But this golden calf can't even move on its own. It can't even go anywhere. They're looking for something to save them that can't even move itself from here to 2 feet away. It can't see, it can't breathe, it can't hear. And you want it to save you. You want it to satisfy every part of you. It is limited. It is a creation, and everything that is a creation has to point me back to the Creator. That makes sense? On intent, what he actually meant here. It is not the idol that is created, it is the worship of it. And I think that we trick ourselves into saying, well, I don't have a golden calf at my house. But I can't hold a conversation with somebody either because I just picked my phone up mid-sentence. That makes sense? All right. Cool. Okay. Number 3. Yeesh. Put your helmets on. Put your helmets on, because it's, okay. Number 3, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. And this word vain means useless, deceitful. There's a third one that I forgot to put in my notes. Let me look it up real quick, because it makes the point. 77:23. Worthless. There it is. Emptiness, vanity, evil, ruin, uselessness, deception, worthless, without result, fraud, or deceit. Without result is my favorite one. Without result is probably my favorite one. So when it comes to, when it comes to using God's name in vain, we all will acknowledge the blasphemous version of it, right? You dare not say Jesus Christ if you're not praying, the whole thing, right? But useless, what was the definition I just used, y'all? Without result. Thank you. Without result. So when God says, do not use my name in vain, again, this is the thing that we do as Christians. We look and we go, well, I'm not using his name as a cuss word. I'm not. Not going to be me. I'm holy, just like him. Riss's face is bracing for what's coming. But here's the thing. If vain also equals useless or worthless, and I begin to over-spiritualize my life, guess what? I am using God's name in a worthless manner. What good is it for me to say, well, God, he's going to do it, and I don't believe it? I have shrunk his name from all that it is to a useless idiom that we use in churches all the time. We use it all the time. God's in control. Boom, worthless. Because if he is in control, why are you freaking out? I'm just going to ask it again. If you say and you believe that God is in control, why are you freaking out? Go ahead. But he took us on the longer way. He did that on purpose. So we're taking the longer way, and yes, it looks crazy, but it's a whole pillar of fire above my head. It's bright out here and it's nighttime. And I think the army is going to catch up. If God is in control, why do I live like he's not? I was telling Jenny, because this hit me this morning, and I was telling her this, and I said, it's wild to me. Because everything that God's name actually is, we shrink it down to a Band-Aid situation. Well, God, he loves us. Yeah, he does love us. And because he loves me, that means I can come boldly to the throne of grace and get mercy. Because he's my Father running to catch me when I mess up. Because he doesn't play, and I still need to bow at the throne of the King when I walk into the room. But everything that is his is mine because of Jesus. So when I take all of that and I go, well, you sound like you don't believe it. And now have used God's name in vain. You've made his name worthless. Because you're going to walk away from the conversation and nothing's going to change. Go ahead.
We wonder, or it's so prominent that people are I don't want Christianity because it's a crutch. I don't need a crutch.
Mm-hmm.
Because we as the church we have used it as a crutch.
We've only made it a crutch.
We've only made it something that's convenient for us.
Yes.
Cop out.
Yes. Yes.
A literal cop out.
Yes. We put all of it on God in this weird, again, spiritualized way where we keep it so mysterious. But if the commandment is to love God and love others, then that's what I'm going to do every day. And as I just tap into love God, love others, there's things that are going to naturally come out of me because I like to love others in this way. Oh man, I noticed that when I actually turned to love God and then love others, this thing just came out of me. And everybody's waiting on the call of God, the call of God, the call of God. I don't know what he's calling me to. I'm just waiting on the Lord. But am I actually waiting on him? So June, July, August last year, when everybody's like, what are you going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do, but because God told me to move, I know he's going to make a way for me to move. And people say, oh, all right, just keep trusting. You're using his name worthlessly. I am actually believing that he will because he told me to. Raver, how you going? I do not know how I am going to do it, but I do know that the creator of the universe knows me by name, and he takes care of random birds. So how much more will he take care of me? Those are red letters, Liam. I didn't make that up. And so again, when I take the red letters and I move those out the way to give some Band-Aid idiom, well, just keep on trusting. You can feel it when somebody says it and they don't believe it. I have now used God's name in vain. And again, we only like to say don't profane his name, but it makes us look really good to each other. And the reason I know that I am not walking in this relationship how I should, what am I carrying that is not him? All the things that Jesus said, do you never look and go, man, I don't have that. How do I get that? Jesus said this, I don't have that. How do I get it? And so we don't get it because we're not looking to get it. And because we're not looking to get it, we don't have it. And our lives look the way they do. And then we look and we go, well, I'm just trusting God. And it sounds sad. We have all talked to somebody. It sounds sad. And I'm not talking that the situation is sad. No. The situation can be sad and you can still believe. This sucks a lot. Yeah, this sucks a lot. I got to move a whole family, 2 states. I do not have a job lined up. I do not know, but I do know he told me to go back to school. So I'm going to just keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing what he told me until he lets me know what the next move is. And then he does, because I was obedient to what he told me, because he's all that satisfies. And I know that. And I'm not choosing anything other than him. I don't care. I don't care who you are. I'm going to believe what God said. I'm going to believe who he is. Every single day. Because the moment I don't and I tell somebody I am, I'm taking his name as worthless. That makes sense? That's wild. That's wild. Okay, last. Verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter, your male servant, your female servant, or your livestock, or the sojourner who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. The Sabbath, keep it holy, keep it pure, keep it separate from everything else. So take what your normal day is like, multiply that by 6, and then do the opposite of that on the 7th day. That makes sense? To keep it separate, to keep it detached from. The Sabbath day, we simplify it as rest. The issue is we don't rest with intention. We don't rest for the sake of, I am going to spend all of this time relaxing in the fact that I have limits, that I cannot do everything, that the God I chose every single day of my life is doing all the things that I cannot do, and I can sit here on my butt and have a good time. We like to put rest in a theory mode, Oh yeah, I'm just gonna rest. But your mind doesn't stop. You don't do anything that's enjoyable. You don't just sit. Yesterday after Trey's game, Jenny and I, she quit her job end of October. So since November, we have been practicing the Sabbath, Friday, 6 p.m. to Saturday, 6 p.m. And so because we've been doing this, every Saturday morning, I kid you not, every Saturday morning up until Trey started basketball 2 weeks ago, we get up, she goes, does her mile, I do my mile, we come back, we make breakfast, we get coffee, and we sit down and we play Mario Party as a family. It's the best time. Intentionally, we sit down as a family and we play Mario Party. And Trey's thing is, can we play 20 turns? Because 20 turns is a lot. It's like an hour, 15 minutes. And we'd be like, yeah, we don't have nothing to do. But on purpose, because our kids are so young, because that would be the other side of it. Well, Rafer, how do you rest with a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old? You don't. Not as in a spa day, you don't. But you can legitimately mellow out with a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. Hey, we're not doing any TV until we start playing Mario Party Saturday morning. So Friday night we have dinner, we have a movie night, we watch a movie as a family, we put the kids to bed, and Jenny and I usually watch some TV, then we go to bed. Saturday morning, we get up, like I said, she does her mile, I do my mile, we eat breakfast, and it's not like a all together at the, no. Hey, the kids are over there, hey, no TV, no screens. Trey still has his iPad, eating breakfast, whatever, who cares? We come together and we play Mario Party. And I have been enjoying this Sabbath rest so much, I bought a cup warmer so I could put it on the TV tray and put my coffee cup on it and literally drink my coffee for an hour and 15 minutes. 12 ounces of coffee for an hour and 15 minutes, that's a long time. But it is savored. Every sip. I know, I'm talking about drinking a cup of coffee, but that is how real the Sabbath rest has become. So now he's in basketball. Well, what does that look like? That's the one thing that we do outside of our home for the most part. He goes, he plays basketball, I cheer. That's it. I'm not doing a devotional if they ask me. I'm not praying for the teams before if they ask me. No, I'm not here to do any work. If Cam called me in a pinch like Saturday morning, hey, he's a coach. Cam's a coach. So if he's like, yo, Skylar got, stomach bug, can you please? I'd be like, is there anybody else? But I'm not working. This is my time to do nothing on purpose for the sake of knowing that every hat I wear, every single hat I wear, it does not matter right now outside of being a husband and a father. Nothing else matters. So yesterday after his game, he had the early game, 9:45. We go to brunch. Don Maria's. And at the end of the meal, I turn to Jenny and Riss and I go, I can feel my body craving coffee and Mario Party. I said, as crazy as that is, my body is shutting down. My body is literally giving out on me because we have set up a day intentionally to rest. And again, that may look different for you. It may be a Wednesday. It may be a Thursday. Whatever that 24-hour period looks like for you, that's what it is. And it's not just that I sit there watching the clock. Ooh, is it 6 o'clock yet? No. I am sitting, I am slowing down, and I'm enjoying knowing that the Father has every single thing in my life taken care of. Because again, he satisfies me. And I'm not worshiping this time specifically. It's not the time that fixes me. It's not the family that I spend time that fixes me. It's the intentional decision to be with him in whatever I choose on the Sabbath. In Emotionally Healthy Spirituality, I love that he says, it is whatever brings you joy. Whatever brings you joy and rest and actually like charges your batteries. And so for me, yeah, I would love to sit and read all day. I would love that. I cannot do that. It is physically unable for me. It is physically unable. I'm unable to do it right now. But I can play some Mario Party. I can watch a movie with my kids. I can make some popcorn. They get the dessert they want. We probably have blizzards most of the time. Yesterday, we went and swam at the hotel for 2.5 hours. And I did. I told them, we were at the pool. I said, hey, 2 things from here. I need to play Mario Party, and I want a burger for dinner. This is my Sabbath, and if I do anything on the Sabbath, I'm going to drink some coffee. I'm going to play Mario Party. All with the intent to see God in it. So I love talking trash with my kids. I love Brooklyn saying, I don't want to play. And she just colors. She just draws. She just builds something. But at this age, my kids are knowing and understanding it's okay to stop. It's okay to know that you have limits. It's okay to know you can't do all of it all the time for everybody 100%. You cannot. You can't. And that is what Sabbath is. Again, me saying, I am not who the Father is. Let me be like him. Let me come back to this relationship. When we were in LA, and Jenny and I were going to go to the beach, 2 days, no kids. And I kept saying, God is going to change. He's probably going to change our whole lives because we finally like not doing anything. And I was joking. And God pulled a Kanye and was like, gotcha. It's for all my people on the social medias, you know. But he did. He legitimately changed our whole lives because what did we do? We finally stopped to listen. 12 different people had asked me, hey, y'all gonna move back to LA? You gonna move back to LA? You gonna move back to LA? No, I'm not. Have you ever driven on a freeway here? No, thank you. I can drive in Clovis without checking a blind spot for days. It's awesome. I get everywhere in 10 minutes. You want to go to the movies? Oh, what time it start? 10 minutes? Let's go. I can get anywhere in 10 minutes. Why would I move back to Los Angeles? No, thank you. But the moment we sat down to rest intentionally is the moment he spoke so clearly to the point where I still was like, I don't know, I don't want to do that. But I cannot deny that you are talking to us right now. I know you are. And that comes from intentionally choosing him and slowing down and knowing I cannot do all of it all the time. It shows my dependence on him every single time that I sit my butt down and sit on my hands. I am saying, in obedience to you, I believe that nothing is going to go crazy for the next 24 hours, and even if it does, you're going to take care of it. I'm going to sit here. And it is. All of this is practice. And we talked about practice a couple weeks ago. We didn't talk about the game. We talked about practice. Thank you. Allen Iverson, you know. But we did. It is practice. Choosing him over and over and over again. This is an invitation. These first four are just an invitation into a high quality relationship. They are not rules to follow. It is an invitation to be in relationship with him. It's an invitation that says, if you, I swear on me, if you choose me, I got you. Choose me. Serve me. Paul says it, I am a bondservant. I am free to choose whatever I want to do. But I choose to stay right here and do what he says because nothing else comes close. Freedom on my own is not servanthood here. Yeesh. Tattoo that on your forehead. Freedom on my own is not servanthood here. It's not even close. And if I can do that, then I know and I believe everything that he is. Because if he fully satisfies me, guess what? The way I talk about him is way different. I always say, your favorite dessert, your favorite meal, you could talk about it for 20 minutes. You could talk about it for 20 minutes. What's your favorite meal? What's your favorite dessert? Ooh, that we all, ooh, let me see. Because I got 6 favorites. I'm going to just tell you about all of them. And we just go in about how satisfying this meal is. And we talk and we talk and we talk. And people believe us. If somebody came to you and said, and my wife does this a lot with like these veggie desserts, or not veggie, but like these fruit, like homemade whipped cream. Like, yeah, just put some granola and honey on it. It's a great dessert. Like, I do not believe you. You don't sound convinced. Also, have you ever had an apple pie? Like, but this doesn't have any sugar. Like, that's the point of dessert. When people say try it, it's not bad. It's not that bad. That's what we sound like talking about Jesus. Literally, we're like, try him, guys. I mean, it's not that bad. No, thank you. I don't want that. That sounds like a bad time. And so often we're having a bad time because we didn't choose him. We're not serving and worshiping. We're not actually taking his name for what it is. When I tell people, yo, I don't know, but God is going to do it, I see people freak out when I say it. Physically shake their heads like, I don't know how you see that. And I'm like, that's what I'm telling you. I don't see it. I see him. I see him. He created a whole world. Why would I not trust him? I mean, those are the big things, but listen, it's too many things just for Rafer that I'm going to choose him every single time. It's too many things that when I look back and I go, dang, he really did that. Wow. Why would I not trust him? I don't even have time to go down the list. But for me specifically, it's too many things for me not to trust him. It's too many things for me not to just rest in him. So, speaking of all the things that Jesus has done, she's just going to change the video. Y'all don't worry. She's not going to do nothing. Speaking of the big